The world is waking up to female nature. You know, not only do we have the experiences that we have, which confirm the red pill, but we've also got men who are sharing their experiences online, right? Which coincide with our experiences. This is how we know it's true. This is how we know feminism is bullshit. This is how we know, you know, the red pill truths are, you know, factual. We can check them with our, not only our own experience, but with other guys' experiences. So no matter how much they want to say, you know, women want to say, oh, it's just you're the problem, find better girls, you just found some toxic girls, you know, not all girls are the same, not all women are like that. As much as they want to say that to discredit our experience and discredit and basically shout us down, shut us down, shout us down and shut us down so that we're not speaking these truths, so they can uplift their monolithic feminist cult, right? As much as they want to do that, we know, because we know every woman we come across is like this. We know how women act. We know 95% of women we meet fall into these red pill categories in one way or the other. Our experience isn't lying to us. Our experience is real. So speak your truth, man. Speak your truth. And don't ever feel ashamed, no matter how much they attack you or shame you or try to get you to shut up, because they will and they do and they have and they are. Speak your truth. So I'm on this video here. This guy named Joshua, forget his last name. He's talking about his girlfriend cheated on him. And he tells his story. His girlfriend cheated with his best friend, and it's a fantastic video. It's all truth. He's just sharing his story, and you can tell he's emotional as he's doing it. And the guy's got a good heart. He's a good dude. You know, you can look this up on YouTube and watch the video. My girlfriend cheated with my best friend. His name's Joshua something. I forget his last name. Just a honest, kind, open guy, right? And there's many guys out there like this. Many of us out there who are just kind, down to earth, genuine, open. We've got good character. This guy's a hard worker. He got a degree in either computer science or computer programming. Shares his story. And it's a great story. And he got screwed over by a woman. He was married. Well, actually, he has another video where he talks about how he went to Norway. I think it was Norway or Finland, or maybe Netherlands, somewhere over there, right? And he got his degree in computer science or computer programming. And he got married to some woman, some girl he was having a long distance relationship with. So he's a smart kid. He's not some, you know, whatever. Fly-by-night jerk, right? He's a well-rounded, smart kid. Comes from a good background, nice, good-looking, right? Nothing wrong with this kid. And he's experiencing, and he's not even part of the red pill. Doesn't claim to be MGTOW, none of that. And he's experiencing the pain that we all go through from these toxic, messed up women who have no accountability, who do what they want, treat men however they want, however selfishly and evil and messed up that they want to be, they can be, because they get away with it. And that's how evil their hearts are. And he's got a perfect example. He's a perfect example of it. But his girlfriend cheated on him with his best friend, flew to a different state, cheated on him. I mean, horrible. It's a crazy story, man. Go watch it. But the guy's got a good heart. And so I made a comment. And I said, this dude has way too good of a heart for this generation. And just about 200 people liked it. So I think they agree with me. I think many people agree with me that this generation is messed up. So I'm just going to go through here and I'm going to read these comments, which just basically confirm that people are waking up. You know, people know. It's just, I don't know if enough people know to change anything. I don't know if, you know, what knowing and experiencing these things is really going to ultimately come with, but hopefully this generation can wake up. Hopefully we can salvage something of humanity and goodness before it's too late, because who knows how bad the next generation after this is going to be. You know, it tends to, the children of bad parents tend to be bad children. So if we got a bad generation already, you know, whatever this generation is now, Gen X, I mean, I'm a millennial, right? And my millennials are highly messed up. So I can't imagine how messed up Gen X is going to be, and their kids, how messed up are their kids going to be. So I'm just going to read through these comments, and then I'm going to sort of break it down. I might skip a few comments, but, you know, this guy says, with more heartbreaks, red pill awakening, he will become ruthless with these women, pump and dump. How do you think women complain? Where are the good guys? It starts this way. Exactly. 100%. Exactly. Women cheat on their men, exercise hypergamy, practice monkey branching, blame us, pretend like they're oppressed when they're the most privileged class of people on the planet by far. It's not even close. I mean, how narcissistic. I mean, just the fact that you're allowed to be that narcissistic is uncanny. It just, you're highly privileged, but yet you claim you're oppressed. Silliness. And you'll see some comments later on that prove that these women are just nutty. You know, women defending themselves by blaming men and blame shifting and not taking accountability. It's just sick. Yeah, this is exactly true. More heartbreaks, more red, because what happens when you get heartbroken? You get red pill awakened. It's exactly what happened with me. 100% what happened with me. When I got heartbroken, I got woke. I got red pilled. And I became ruthless and bad boy. And it's hard. It's hard to come back from that, because I hate women, so therefore I'm just going to fuck them. And then the cycle continues. And then they act like, and the irony is they want you when you don't want them. They want you when you're ruthless with them. And you pump and dump them, and then they act like, oh, it's all me. You're the reason why we do it. It's because of you. Because you're hypergamous, because you're nasty and you're succubuses. That's why. That's why we become that way. But I don't think this kid will, and I don't want him to. I don't want him to become like that, because he's a good kid, and we need good people in this world. There's not enough good people in this world. And there's always somebody that's going to be, no, that's just society. It's not just women. It's just society. Always excusing their behavior. They never have to take accountability. They never have to be responsible or be transparent. It's always shift blaming. Never blame them. And that's that whole narrative. That's that whole females are special narrative. Oh, it can't be the women. It must be society. Bullshit. That's just how society in the end may go downhill. I got a son in shared custody, but never married, never will. Here in Germany, they removed a law that would give a certain person the guilt for a divorce. That means if I were married with a wealthier woman than me, I could cheat, record it on video, give it to her on Christmas, and say, hey, we are broken up now, and I appreciate that you will owe me $500 every month for the next year or until I marry. Exactly. The laws are messed up. So you can act. It's evil legislation. A wise man once said, laws represent the lawmakers. There's many evil laws. And why are the laws evil? Because the lawmakers are evil. That's an evil law, what this guy just said. That's an evil law. So you can cheat, act however bad you want, and then if the person who has more money than you, no matter how bad you act, no matter how unfaithful you are, no matter how much you practice infidelity, no matter what you do, they have to pay more money because they because they have to pay you money because they make more money. That's an evil law that benefits mostly women. We live in an evil world, man, and that's a great example of it. Y'all know that usually the man got more wealth because girls almost never marry down. Exactly. Hypergamy. When I then tell people that marriage has become a scam and totally lost the meaning because of infidelity, because infidelity doesn't have any consequences, meaning got no clue, and come with that love aspect. Yeah, they're deceived. They can't admit the truth. They don't want to admit the truth. They stick their head in the ground like an ostrich when danger comes, or when some kind of narrative that disrupts their cognitive dissonance enters their thought life, because they're stuck in the matrix, man. They can't admit that this world is sick. No, it's and I've heard a million excuses. They'd rather spend all their energy making excuses and being PC and, you know, never blaming women, never blaming the legislations, never saying that the world is evil. Spend all that energy instead of just admitting the truth that's right in front of their face. They're blind. Sometimes I don't even think they can admit it. I don't even think they can see it. That's the crazy part. Marriage is like adopting a female, exactly, because of hypergamy. It's a contract where you either get some tax benefits while it works or lose half of your belongings when it goes down. Yep, that's why men are walking away. There's no point. Even when you just cohabitate for more than a year, yep, you owe that girl money after the breakup unless she doesn't earn more money than you. Hilarious. In the generation of my grandmother, divorces were a huge exception. Yeah, before 1960, divorce statistics were below 40%. I think they were like 30, 34, 38, around there percent. That's still pretty high. That's not low, but that's a lot lower than 60%, which it is now. Me too, I can relate. It's like that for many. But we're all meant to be a part of the times we're born in. Maybe men and women should stop dating each other and go our separate ways. So this girl comes in with her shit. So she starts to say, so what she's doing here is she's equating men and women. She's saying, oh, this is what girls do. They shift blame. They shift blame. They say, oh, it's not just me. Men do it too. Men are to blame too. And that's what they do. And that's how they excuse their own behavior instead of taking accountability. Men do it too. She says, maybe men and women should stop dating each other and go our separate ways. And this guy says, or just get married in a manner that is not so convoluted as it is today. You could date, but it's going to be the end goal of marriage and unity between yourselves and your society. Or maybe just learn how to create families and societies that instill people with good morals, values, and work ethic. Bingo. Starts in the home. Man. The parents don't raise the kids. It starts in the home, but also the society's so messed up that a quality home raised child can easily go astray. Easily. Because society's so messed up. But it does start in the home. Good morals, values, and work ethic. Good values, teach your children how to have good character. That's where a lot of people are failing, where a lot of parents are failing, a lot of families are failing just there. So then I come in and I say, it does start this way. Unfortunately, I hope he'll find someone quality, but it's a mess out there. I hope we all find quality women. And then this woman comes back in. Like I said, this is that same woman who said, oh, men and women should just walk away because we're all messed up. So like I said, she's trying to equate. She's trying to convolute the situation by saying men do it too. Now she comes back and comments and she said, people used to be stuck in miserable marriages in the past. The only difference was men could easily cheat more than women. So you see what she just did there? She shift blamed and she said, oh, it's because men used to cheat and everybody was miserable. That's why women are the way they are today. And she's just making an excuse. She can't accept responsibility. Women cannot accept responsibility for their bad behavior. Women cannot admit they're wrong. They can't take accountability. It's just they're grown children. This is why so many men say women are grown children, because what do children do? I didn't do it. It wasn't me. It was my brother. It was him. That's what children do. That's what children do. They shift blame. They can't just say, because it's a child. The difference between a child and an adult is adults are responsible. Adults have to be socially and personally responsible. This is an adult speaking. She can't take responsibility because women are grown children. How could you be in a relationship with somebody like this? How could you be in a relationship with somebody who can't take responsibility for their own behavior? You can't. How could you be in a relationship with somebody who can't admit when they're wrong and all they do is shift blame? Well, you stole the cookies the other day. You didn't give me a pillow the other night and it offended me. Therefore, I cheated on you. You're a jerk. That's an example in the summary. That sums up women right there. You did this, therefore this is why. Well, men used to cheat. That's why women are so bad today. Like, you're just shift blaming. You can't take responsibility for your own behavior. But relationships were just as lousy as they are today. That's not true. That's not true. People knew how to love back in the day. Sorry to say. That's why people are married until they're often 90 and 100 these days. Because they knew how to work through problems. They knew how to get along. They knew how to treat each other right. Nowadays, relationships are lucky if they last 6 months. Let alone a lovely marriage that doesn't end up in gaslighting, divorce, and a woman using sex to make the man's life miserable. I mean, it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible today. And this girl's probably not a day over 25. And she thinks she knows how it used to be because some feminist told her that men used to cheat all the time. This is how nuts our generation is. You don't know a thing about a thing. You were born in the internet generations. All you know is your little internet echo chambers. You probably didn't even go outside your whole childhood. Back in the day before the internet, we had to go outside. We had to do something called reading. We had to read books where we learned actual history, where there wasn't fake news and manufactured narratives to fit our, extreme feminism. That's all she knows is a feminist manufactured narrative. Men used to cheat all the time because that justifies our narrative that we can go cheat now, that women can go do whatever we want with our bodies and woo. Yeah. What's the result of that? 60+% divorce rate. What's the result of that? Everybody's fucked up. Toxic generation. Don't know how to love. Don't even know how to be human. This is what they do, man. Consistently, constantly. This is what they do. Shift blaming. So then she says, I think everyone should stop dating and work on loving themselves. Yes, just like that woman who married herself and then divorced herself. You feminists are sick. It's a sick narrative, man, to shift blame. She says both sides end up losing once they get involved in a relationship, especially marriage. It's damaging people. Yeah, but you're not taking accountability for your own behavior. You're shift blaming. You're not being an adult. So how could the relationships work? It takes two to tango. Two people have to be quality, have to admit when they're wrong, have to work on something. Nowadays, if anything goes wrong ever in a relationship, the girl's gone. She just skips out and jumps onto the next dick. She skips out and monkey branches onto the next guy. Back in the day, like you're talking about, when you think men used to cheat, which they didn't, that's just a lie from the feminist cult. Back in those days, people actually worked on a relationship. They actually, instead of the grass is greener mentality, they actually worked on a relationship. That's why the relationships lasted. That's why the divorce rate wasn't even over 40%. In fact, I think it was 30%. I don't even think it was 38. I think it was 30%. So I say, unfortunately, God damn it. Give me a second here, sorry. All right, this isn't. So I say, unfortunately, women can never admit when they're wrong. Sorry, fuck. It's a common argument to say men used to cheat on women. Not necessarily. A major problem that ruined our generation is feminism, which fundamentally indoctrinated women with hatred and blame against men while simultaneously telling them they can do any behavior and get away with it. 100% true. Women being quote-unquote strong and independent just pitted them against men. It also made them sluts with no accountability, no social stigma for their behavior, not even any physical repercussions, as now they can just have abortions. Women being quote-unquote strong and independent just pitted them against men. Now they feel strong if they're blaming us while excusing their own immoral and degenerate behavior. 100% true. Now, of course, that pisses her off. So she replies, and she says, you can tell yourself that. What are you, 5? You can tell yourself that. Men did cheat and have concubines in the past, and it was mostly acceptable for men to do that. Not really. Not necessarily. They were not happy in their marriages with their wives, and I doubt wives were happy either. Yeah, what the fuck do you know? You probably weren't even born before 1995. They were not happy in their marriages with their wives, and I doubt wives were happy either, which is why feminism even happened. No, it's not. It's not why feminism happened. Feminism happened because women didn't have the right to vote and the right to have equal pay in the workforce. Those are the two major reasons why feminism happened in the first place. And then it got transmorphed, and all this extra shit got added onto it, and it got fucked up in second and third wave feminism. I'm actually in agreement with first wave feminism. Whether people realize that or not, I'm in agreement with first wave feminism. I always have been. Women, I have no problem with them having the right to vote, although sometimes I seriously doubt we should have let them, because look at what they've done as far as legislation is concerned, right? Evil people vote in evil politicians who then pass evil laws, right? But objectively speaking, I believe women, as far as equality is concerned, should have the right to vote. Objectively speaking, although, like I said, they fucked it up, and they've tarnished the whole institution, which should be righteous and sacred. They've tarnished the whole political sphere with their evil laws, which throw men under the bus. But anyway, original feminism started because they wanted their right to vote and the right to work. Had nothing to do with wives being unhappy. I mean, maybe it was a part of it, but it wasn't a major tenet. Okay? It's not why feminism happened in the first place. Sorry. Now both men and women should go their separate ways and work on loving themselves. Yeah, that's really going to benefit society. You know, that's really going to benefit the next generation of society, right? Just don't love anyone. Just love yourself. Oh yeah, then what about the kids of the next generation? Thinking about that? Probably not. Because you're selfish. You can't see outside of your own little narcissistic scope. Instead of seeking relationships to validate their own worth. I don't know about you, but that's not why I seek a relationship. Not to validate my own worth, simply to share love and to feel loved. That's why I seek a relationship, and to have a bond and to have somebody to go through life with, not only share experiences with, but to help me through life, which is what marriage and relationships are supposed to be about, not about validation. Because females always want to validate themselves. Oh, I feel special and now I'm validated. Because that's what they're all about, is validation. That's why they're always posting selfies on social media so they can get the thirst brigade going. Because they always want validation. It shares a lot of heartache, and we end up dodging bullets. Yeah, maybe change. Maybe change. You know? So then this guy comes in and he says, Yeah, no. Not saying it was perfect, but there were consequences for men too, exactly. Also, no man wants another man knocking at his door because he's been unfaithful with his wife. Exactly. It's a risk. That's why people didn't do it. It's a risk to cheat. Big risk. It's a liability. It's a huge risk. That's why a lot of people don't do it, even though, sure, we've all got lust. We've all got fantasies and we all want to follow that shit, but we don't do it a lot of the time because it's dangerous. She's acting like, oh, there was just this society where men would walk around and fuck anything that moved. Not necessarily. Maybe like CEOs of companies who, I mean, bad people are in every generation. That shit happens in every generation. But it's not like every married man was just cheating on it. That's what she's trying to act like. It's just shift blaming. Bullshit. That's what stops men from hitting on, taking women, and even not being attracted to them. Men generally like untouched women. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, of course, that's, we want someone who's not used goods. The marriages out of the past were a lot more out of necessity, and there were ridiculously less options to cheat. I agree with that. Obviously there was no Tinder back then. Obviously there were no social media. There was no internet. So you couldn't just get on the internet and in 5 minutes later have a fuck buddy at your door. I mean, how easy it is to cheat today. Incredibly easy. And because of hypergamy, it's in women's favor. Right? It's a joke. Unfortunately, marriage may have to be out of necessity to work better. He's talking about hypergamy there, financial and otherwise, which is a problem in and of itself, and it always has been. Always has been. Because female nature is fundamentally, uses men for our resources. Marriage may not have, that's a sad truth that many of us like to acknowledge, or I think he was trying to say don't like to acknowledge, but yeah, we talk about it in the Red Pill community. So this guy says, you're being ridiculous and sounding like a nihilist. Men and women should not go their own ways. That's stupid and not how this whole life and biology thing works. Exactly. What about the next generation? Society would be over if everyone just, in 2 generations, our human race would be in chaos. And that's what they're trying to do. It's what's happening. Feminism wasn't made because miserable women in marriages. Yep. It's a one-sided brigade anyways. We finally realized the same BS movement can be made for men. They finally have the ability to share their opinions and be heard on the internet. Yeah, that's Red Pill community. The manosphere, MGTOW, etc. And be validated without ridicule. Exactly. That's why we're here. That's why we tell the truth. That's why we speak what we speak. Because we're sharing our experiences that other men are sharing. And if we share them in social circles or wherever women are, we get ridiculed and attacked. Oh, you're an incel, you're a misogynist, just for speaking the truth. Something a lot of society could never do, including women. Exactly. We need to strengthen our families and communities. That strengthens our people. Stop being an illogical defeatist. Yep, exactly. So then I say this. I say, women can't admit they're immoral. Can't admit that they use men. Can't admit that men are just utility to fulfill their hypergamy. If it even gets that far. Most are just out sleeping around or jumping from boyfriend to boyfriend. Women today don't know how to be faithful or loyal or even choose the right kind of man for the right reasons, let alone actually love men. Most relationships that I see that work are really more like financial conveniences. A large chunk of our women out there are doing porn or stripping or becoming a cam girl or an Instagram model. These women don't even know how to be normal humans, let alone love one man. They can't even stay faithful to one guy, yet have the audacity to blame all men. Ridiculous. Products of divorce themselves in many cases, raised on porn and MTV culture, extremely privileged and yet somehow still under the impression that they're oppressed, walk around like goddesses and celebrities just because men want to have sex with them, and then attack any man who dares question any of it, calling him an incel or a misogynist. Absolute lost generation. No accountability, no reality, no self-crit or self-actualization. Single moms, toxic gaslighters with the audacity and proud narcissism to claim they're equal to men. Hardly. Men have accountability and consequences for our behavior. 100% true, man. 100% true. And you can go to this page, you can go to this video and read all these comments. Facebook has the complete evidence for that transformation, my friend. I'm talking about me, from young and pro-equality to 32 and proud female hater, 32 years of having the feminist boot on my neck, and they have the audacity to call me a misogynist for taking the boot off and dusting myself off as I get back to my feet. Exactly. These hoes want privilege with no responsibility. 100%, bro. 100%. So this guy comes in with something interesting. My battery's about to run out, but he says many of that aspects are female nature. I don't hate women or even love them. Or I don't hate women, I even love them. The issue is that we are living in societies that completely deny the laws of nature. And the thing is, wherever you give opportunities of exploitation, people will exploit it. So basically, this guy is apologizing for women. He's like, oh, it's human nature. You know, women are just taking care. I mean, there's a little bit of truth. There's truth in that. There's truth in that. It's true. There's an opportunity for exploitation, and women have taken that opportunity. I get what he's saying. It's true. But it doesn't mean women shouldn't have accountability, and it doesn't mean that we can't. I mean, the fact that we can't talk about it, and men would talk about it. Men would say, "Yeah, you're right. I'm wrong." Men would be open for discourse because we have to be. In order to survive, men have to have accountability. We always have. We have to eventually tell the truth, or we'll get called on the carpet. That's just how men are. So we might exploit it. In fact, we probably would exploit it. But eventually we would get called on the carpet, just like women have called us on the carpet for the fact that we didn't let them vote. And they called us out, and things changed. But now we're calling women out, and nothing's changing because they can't admit that they're wrong. They're shift blaming. They're blaming men. They're not taking accountability. They're running from the responsibility of owning their own behavior. That's what's happening. Men couldn't do that. You see, so that's the difference. It's not about the women, it's about laws, and it's about social engineering, which is done by feminists, which unfortunately affects the relationship of all of us. Yeah, feminists are social engineering, 100%, that's true. If feminism would be a fringe group like Mormons or Scientology, the effect would not be that huge. I agree. It's probably true. It's about capitalism too. The more, yeah, it is. It's financial. The more social inequality you got, the more men will not have excuse me. The more social inequality you got, the more men will not have a partner. Right, because of hypergamy. Very true. Modern harems, yep. Women don't care that they're just another number on a guy's belt as long as he's got high status, as long as he's got money. They don't care if they're a part of his harem. Nowadays, all you can do is either become Pua or a successful guy. Otherwise,